Hello, and welcome to Tabak Law. My name's Alex Eichhorn. I'm one of the attorneys and partners here, and I'm alongside Halil, one of the developers from LawRuler, our client retention management system. Today, we're going to talk about some of the most commonly used functionality to this amazing system, which allows us to consistently communicate with our clients via text message, email, as well as automated calls. I'm going to hand it over to Halil, who's going to show you again some of the most common functionality.
Go ahead and get started with our guided tour. When you first log into LawRuler, you'll be on the home page. This is also known as the inbox. At the very top of every page in LawRuler is our global search feature. This will allow you to do a quick search of all the leads in your portal. You could search by name, by number, by email address, or by lead ID. If you ever need to get a little bit more granular with your searches, you can always utilize the advanced search feature located here on the left side navigation window. Below the global search and at the top of the page are two windows. On the left side is the My Tasks window. Here you can see any tasks that are currently assigned to you. You can filter through those tasks by due date and time. You can add new tasks for yourself by clicking on the Add Tasks button and completing the task form. On the right side of the page is the recent activity. Think of this as like your LawRuler newsfeed. It's where any activity that's taken place in the portal is going to be displayed. You can search through the recent activity. You can filter it by case type. You can see different users' activity, different firms, as well as different statuses in the system. Below the recent activity in My Tasks is the LawRuler inbox. This is where all of your leads and cases will be displayed. You can click on any of the names on the list to open up the intake details of that lead. Within the inbox, you can utilize the search functionality if you need to quickly pull up any information in the inbox as well. And another really great feature in the inbox is using these different filters that can be applied to your inbox so that only the relevant information that you're looking for is going to be displayed. And you can always add filters for case type, for lead source, different tags in the system. You can filter by status as well, by firm, assignee, or owner. Aside from filtering your inbox or using the search feature, another really great feature within the inbox is the ability to add a note inside of a lead or intake. So just click on this yellow note icon. That's going to open up our note editor. This will allow you to create a note specifically for this lead. Another great feature within the notes is the ability to tag other users in the system. In order to create a new intake in LawRuler, we're going to navigate to the new intake icon on the left side navigation menu. This is going to open up our new intake wizard. From here, we're going to select from a number of these drop-downs to create a intake for a contact. So first thing we'll do is select a case type for this new intake. We can select a status. Remember, the system always defaults new leads to the new lead status. We can select a marketing source. And finally, we have the option to choose an assignee or leave this one unassigned. LawRuler is capable of handling multiple matters for one client. So if you know that this is a previously existing client, you can always type their name into the search bar. And if it's any one of these contacts, you can always select their name from the list. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're actually going to create a new contact. So we'll navigate to the Create New Contact button here, located on the bottom left side of the page. That's going to open up our contact card. Here we're going to fill out the contact card with all of the appropriate contact information. Once you've entered all the information in the contact card, we'll go ahead and click Save. And now you're going to see the contact is displayed here on the right side of the page. So once we see the contact card displayed, we can go ahead and click Create Intake in order to create a new intake in LawRuler. Once the new intake has been created, you'll see that we'll be taken to the Intake Details page. This is where all of the details related to this specific intake can be found. And there's a couple of features and functionalities to be aware of. So number one, you can always change the case type, the marketing source, the status, or the lead assignee, all from the Intake Details page. Also, what can be done is from the contact information side of the Intake Details page, you can actually reach out directly to your client. So if you need to send them a text message, you can click on the green SMS icon. That's going to open up a SMS editor. Once the new intake has been created in the system, you'll be free to complete the intake form, and that's located right here in the Intake/Case Info tab. That will automatically bring us down to the bottom of the page, and here we can actually see the intake form. You can also navigate to the Documents tab here on top, and there you can upload any documents that are going to be relevant to this particular client, and you can just go ahead, select Upload File, and drag and drop any documents that you need to directly into the document management system of LawRuler. Finally, any activity that you need to view regarding the specific intake can all be found in the audit log here. This is basically the same thing as the activity feed, but this is going to be specific to this lead. And remember, whichever tab you're currently on the top, you can always scroll up, and that will take you directly back to the intake details page. Once the intake form is completed, notes, emails, and documents are reviewed, and the lead has been qualified, you can trigger an electronic contract to the lead in order to retain them with your firm. To trigger the e-sign agreement, you'll click the e-sign tab located on the top of the intake details. That will take you down to an e-sign document section where you'll be able to see any retainers that can potentially be sent out to that client. From here, we'll click Select Recipients, and that's going to give us several options for having this e-sign agreement signed. We have the option to send the e-sign agreement. We can send it via email, via SMS text, or both. As soon as the client signs the agreement, they'll also receive a copy of that signed agreement in their email. If you have the client in your office, you actually have the option to have them sign the agreement immediately. Now that I'm back in the intake details, I can see that the status of my lead has automatically changed to sent e-sign as soon as I triggered that e-sign agreement out to them. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick refresh, and we'll see that the status automatically updates to signed e-sign as soon as that signed agreement comes back into the portal. Now that the retainer has been signed and this client has been retained by the firm, we can navigate down to the bottom of the Intake Details tab, and from here we can actually convert this intake into a case by clicking.
So let's see the system in action. As you can see, when I initially log in, I am delivered to the home screen, and my dialer's pulled up large enough so that I can see all the necessary fields, and I'm labeled as available, and look at that, a call has already began. When I hit accept, you can see immediately the dialer begins and the lead is automatically pulled up. We can see that this is Social Security Disability lead from the Global Lead Solution marketing source, along with additional information including what language they speak, their location, email address, and telephone number. LawRuler also allows us to leave automated voicemails simply by clicking the voicemail icon. It's important that you wait until the ding sound before you drop the voicemail to avoid your voicemail recording only halfway through. After the call, we're going to select the status. Obviously, we had left a voicemail, and we're going to do just that. Then we can hit the wrap up feature. Again, immediately another call is going to be queued. Christopher is the next most likely to be contacted, and again, we have the opportunity to accept. Before we accept the next call, it's extremely important that we update the status appropriately. We just, unfortunately, were unable to speak with Dixie. However, we still left her a voicemail, and as such, we are in the process of contacting her. It's extremely important that this is selected or the system will not function appropriately. When the system realizes that Dixie is now in the contacting tab status, it will send her out another text message in addition to queue her for another call. If we unfortunately forget to move her to the contacting status, she'll stay in the new lead status. No additional calls will be queued and no additional voicemails or text messages or emails will go out. As such, again, it's extremely important that we're moving the status appropriately. If indeed we did contact Dixie and we determine that she is ineligible for our aid, we would hit case rejected. If indeed we tried the number several times and it continuously demonstrated the phone number was not available, we would want to hit disconnected phone prank, and so on and so forth. If we sent her a paper retainer, if we spoke with her and she said she didn't want to talk to us, and after trying to overcome those objections, it was clear that she was adamant that she didn't want to speak with us, we'd go ahead and hit client refused help, and so on and so forth. So let's say Dixie did pick up the phone. The next step would be to complete an intake with her. In order to do that, you'd simply click on the Intake Case Info tab, which would then populate the questions directly below. We want to ensure that we are walking through each and every question with the potential client to ensure that we are ensuring eligibility. Beginning with the first question, are you currently working? Yes or no? Thank you for taking the time to complete this tutorial. I hope it helps, and please don't hesitate to ask any of the managers or partners any questions that you may have. Congratulations, and we look forward to having you.